Grand Rising, everyone. It is Monday, November 17th, 2025. It is 0500 hours and 10 minutes in the morning, Central Standard Time. This is initially a live stream recording, and we have quite a bit of breaking news. This is for sure a Code Black live stream. I've moved to a new location near Austin. That's where I'm putting it as the location now. That might bring in some more people too. So we have quite a few new developments since the last live stream I've been on here. We're going to start all the way. I suppose we'll start right around here. So Earth recently had very serious geomagnetic storms. The strongest geomagnetic storm of 2025 was right around November 12th. It was classified as a G5 level event by NASA and the NOAA. It was the most extreme, the highest level on the geomagnetic storm scale. They have different impacts. Depending on the scale, it impacts things differently. I really like this chart. I haven't seen it in a while. So as you can see there on this is the geomagnetic storm impact scale from the NOAA. And it was a G5 recently. The most concerning thing about that is the effects that it brings with it. G5, it says there, it could cause blackouts or complete collapse of power grids. That's possible. Navigation systems could potentially be out for hours or days. Auroras may be seen as low as Florida and southern Texas. So it was extremely concerning when we got hit by that G5 geomagnetic storm, which is caused by coronal mass ejections from the sun. When it hits the magnetic field on the earth, it causes these geomagnetic storms. And we had the highest, strongest geomagnetic storm of 2025 right about November 12th recently. You see what else I have here? This is an unconfirmed report, though, from World Affairs. There's no other source that I've found when it comes to this, no solid source. Though World Affairs was saying Italy will send troops to Ukraine to fight against Russia. That's a very unconfirmed report. I haven't found a solid source on that. Though that was also extremely, if not equally or more concerning, that World Affairs put that post up. Very interesting from World Affairs. Once again, I heavily emphasize there's not much of a solid source on that one. So we're going to move on from that. Very interesting, though, once again from World Affairs. We have this here from Mike Adams. I'll read it. It's very interesting. Love to see this from Mike Adams, the health ranger. It's a theory he put up. So, Mike Adams' theory is Trump is throwing his entire support base under the bus because he already knows there won't be any more elections. So, their opinions and votes no longer matter. He'll have National Guard troops deployed in every major city by April 2026. From there, we are just one emergency away from canceling elections and criminalizing independent media and Christian churches that don't comply. Just like Zelensky did in Ukraine, there's still no elections in Ukraine long after Zelensky's term as president expired more than a year ago. And when governments gain power from emergencies, they always find ways to whip up new emergencies. This time it will have to be something huge, like World War or a false flag cyber attack on the US power grid. Once again, this is a theory from Mike Adams. He asks, do you think this is what they have planned? Yes or no? I think it's very possible. It's quite likely. It's close to the plan. He might be referring to. I'm sure they going. I strongly believe they're going to cancel the elections. All they have to do is declare martial law when the kinetic phase continues more of World War III. A great example is when China goes and invades Taiwan. President Trump can then declare martial law. It's World War III. Then there's no elections from that point on, and President Trump stays the president through martial law. So he would stay the president until total anarchy. He would stay the president during the time of martial law. So during martial law, around that same time, they could censor and cancel many different things. So, yes, it is very close to the theory that Mike Adams has there as for what the Trump administration may have planned and the deep state. Let's see here. We'll talk about Venezuela. Trying to figure out which one we would start on here. So the USS Gerald R. Ford, that aircraft carrier strike group has entered the Caribbean Sea according to Visegrad 24. So we now have that carrier strike group in the Caribbean Sea ready to fire hundreds of missiles, send in thousands of Marines. I've heard even potentially paratroopers when it comes to Venezuela. That's why they're in the Caribbean Sea. They're staging with the other naval forces in the Caribbean for the invasion on Venezuela to remove the socialist evil dictator, the cartel connected one, Nicolas Maduro, from power. And they'll likely do regime change there, change the leader of Venezuela. And then the U.S., I'm sure, would have more control over a lot of the resources there after that. Maduro's been very nervous. He's literally like running scared. It's surprising he's not surrendering, or he doesn't intend to surrender at this time. There's no news on him just surrendering, though he's just about that scared because the U.S. is going to deal with him and those cartels over there. As we could see right above from World War III monitor, the Department of State intends to designate Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. I believe that means Cartel of the Suns in Spanish. And that is headed by the illegitimate Nicolas Maduro. That was also news directly from the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Just check my audio here before we continue. It's been a while. Stand by. Very good. Once again, this is initially a live stream recording that is posted to my YouTube channel. Moving on, we'll talk about Taiwan and China and Japan. That's what it's really beginning with over there. So from the PLA Daily, also posted by the World War III monitor there, if Japan intervenes in Taiwan, the entire country of Japan will be turned into a battlefield. Once again, that was from the PLA Daily. That's like Chinese news. The Chinese are threatening Japan, the entire country of Japan, and they are openly saying if Japan intervenes in Taiwan, all of Japan will become a battlefield. That's a serious threat from China. We'll see how Japan reacts in the coming days. That was from just about a day ago. So this is what Taiwan is doing further here. They're starting to prepare further for the invasion by China. This is also from Visegrad 24. Taiwan to send a new civil defense handbook to all 10 million households, preparing citizens for emergencies, including a Chinese attack. It explains how to respond to enemy troops as well as offering instructions on shelters and sabotage. So, yes, Taiwan is preparing, Taiwan is building resilience, self resilience, preparation, preparing and building self resilience, self reliance is what's really going to help Taiwan make it through this massive invasion eventually by China. I still don't believe for likely even a moment that China is going to be successful with that. That's because Japan will defend Taiwan. Japan will defend its territorial waters. Australia will likely assist Taiwan. And even the U.S. Navy in the area will assist Taiwan. There's quite an alliance set up to defend Taiwan. I do believe Taiwan will be just fine when it comes to that invasion since they'll have so much support. And once again, another major serious thing about Taiwan, it's a strategic location. Many of the microchips are built there in Taiwan, along with many, many other high quality items. It's not like China there. They actually have high quality items and materials in Taiwan. Quite a difference. It's a whole different country. So it's pretty much its own, it is its own culture. It's a whole different world there in Taiwan. Earlier, we actually had Chinese drones. There was a Chinese drone incursion into Japanese airspace. So we had a Chinese drone incursion into Japanese airspace. If I remember correctly, it was Japanese airspace, which China hasn't done any of that yet. They're doing what Russia did with, say, some of the NATO countries. Very interesting move from China, literally doing military actions that Russia has done. Yet they're doing it on, I believe it was Japan. So China has threatened Japan. Now they're doing drone incursions on Japan. We're certainly going to see how the US and Japan and the allies of Japan react to these Chinese threats and actions, since China is actually taking action by sending in these drones to do reconnaissance and whatever else they may be doing with those drones, reconnaissance and intimidation, and to see what they could get away with. So strange. Very interesting from China. Let me see what else I could find here. I nearly forgot. So recently, Iran seized a tanker. I believe it was a U.S. tanker, an oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. condemns it as a blatant violation And we also have Iran might have shot down a C-17, which is like a military cargo plane, a U.S. military cargo plane. Iran might have shot down a C-17 right near the Strait of Hormuz hours ago. It's a very tense situation right now with the U.S. and Iran, especially Israel and Iran. Israel's going to start, and well, maybe not start, though Israel will be at war with Iran once again very soon. That's been reported recently. Israel does have the intention to go to the likely much larger war with Iran. So that C-17 earlier by the Strait of Hormuz, going back to that, it was putting out like Mayday signals. It might have gotten shot down, or for some reason, it had to do an emergency landing in that area, though it's seeming that it got shot down. Shortly after that, we had B-52 bombers nearby, near the Middle East, fly through parts of Saudi Arabia in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, flying towards Iran. So those B-52 bombers, it might have been a show of force, or they really are about to bomb Iran, especially for the oil tanker incident and possibly even shooting down that C-17, that U.S. military cargo plane. It's been a very intense week or so with all the news. That's just some of it. That's just about most of it. All of the real serious stuff, though, it has been very intense. Everything is really going towards total war now. Slowly, it's slowly going towards total SHTF. So keep on preparing. I always recommend physical assets, though, once again, I'm not a financial advisor. Please make your own decisions. That's your own choice if you decide to buy physical assets such as gold, silver, land, food, especially freeze dried food, storable food, ammunition. Those are all amazing storable assets, physical assets. So keep on preparing, maybe learn new skills. Think about what you may do during a barter economy. That's also what's coming up, is a barter economy, especially shortly after it hits the fan. This economy here domestically in the US is totally collapsing. It's not a crash, it's totally collapsing. So prepare for that eventuality. Keep on preparing for World War III. I know these are very serious, very interesting times, very historical times. Though stay grounded, try to pray every day to the source of your understanding. In my case, and many others, to the source, the all. That'll just about do it, I believe, for today. It's very early in the morning here, this new location. I'm not too far from Austin, Texas now. Please like, comment, and subscribe. donate, if you will. The link is in the description of this video if you want to further support this channel. I hope to see you all on the next update, likely a code red or black, as these are very intense, very serious times with total escalation, headed for total war at this time. World War III continues. Love, light, and blessings to you all. Thank you for